Okay, so this is the first of our Illustrator tutorials. The first thing I'm going to teach you to do is to create an artboard. You only need one, so I'm going to go to File, New. I'll title this Color Infographics. I only want one artboard, but you can always increase the artboards in the future. Stick with one now. We want the units to be in inches. Make sure they're in inches. If they're in points and you only do 6 points and 8 points, you're gonna have a very small infographic. So make sure you're doing inches. The size of a piece of paper is 8.5 by 11 inches. So you can actually do that instead. All right, the bleed. The bleed is for flyers. In this case, we could use it because we would be printing out a whole piece of paper and we want all of the color to go to the edges of the paper. So we want it to go into the bleed. Now your color mode, you don't want it to be in RGB. Color mode is going to be in CMYK because this is the color mode you use to print. Cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. K for black. Okay, and everything else looks good, so we'll keep it like that. Okay, and then there's my artboard. So just to get you started, this is your selection tool. This is your direct selection tool. I'm going to show you first how to use these shapes that you have right here. First, we're going to use a rectangle. And say you want this to be your blue color box. This will represent all the research you've done on your blue. So I'm going to click right here into my fill color, which you may also choose up here. And I'm going to shade it in with cyan. If you wanted a stroke, you could always go in, double click here, or click here, and create one by choosing a color. Now I'm going to type in text. Let me zoom in on this little blue box. I just took the zoom tool and I slid over the blue box, and there it is, filling up my whole screen. I'm going to grab the type tool. Notice here you have different options for type. You can do area type tool, type on a path, vertical type tool, but I just want the normal type tool. So I'm going to click here. Whenever you choose any one of these tools, you're going to notice that the control panel up here changes. It's called the control panel because you control it based off of any tool that you select in the toolbox. So whenever I click on my pen tool, I'll see all of these. You'll see the stroke, the opacity. When I click on text box, you'll see all of the options for me to choose as far as my text goes. So I'm going to choose a Helvetica font so that y'all can see what that looks like. And I'm going to make it bold. And I think I'll increase this to about 14 point. However, I think I'll leave it at 12 just to show you something. So I chose the Helvetica typeface. It's a bold font, and I'm going to type in blue. Now I can highlight it and then change the style. I can change the typeface. I can change the size all up here. Whenever you use point text, like what I just did where I pointed and clicked, you can grab the selection tool and then you can make it bigger just by clicking and dragging it. But notice that your tracking between the letter changes. You'll increase the tracking. So if you don't want to do that, then just go Command Z, undo. You can control the size from the options on the control bar. Okay? Alright, so there I have blue. You have a guide up here. You'll have guides all with you throughout your time in Illustrator. So you can just put that wherever you want. You may add more type, and you can change anything you want up here. You can even change the opacity of that type. So if I want to put something where it's not as bold as the title, I can say the Okay. Now this is a little big, obviously, for that. Let me get rid of this. This is a little big for that little square, and so if you like it and you want to keep it like that, then cool. I think it looks a little bit off, so I'm going to squeeze it back in there. Or I can do what I did before and then just choose my options from the control panel and bring it down normally. Okay, I'm going to grab my selection tool to reselect it. Put it right where I want it. Okay. Now you can start putting all the facts about that color or the color blue into that shape you just created. Now notice here you'll see my layers panel. The layers panel is very important because if you mess up on something and you want to just delete that one thing, you may not be able to because it's all within one layer. Now what would be a good idea is if you wanted to create a layer for your shapes and a layer for your type or a layer for one color. So in this case I'll do blue, and then in it you'll see, actually let me click this so you can unsee what this sublayer represents. This is the type of the common color. This is the type of blue. This is that one that I created that I didn't do anything with, so I'm going to throw that away. And then this is the rectangular path I created. I'm going to scoot on over here. Let me zoom out by pressing Command minus. There's a bunch of different shortcuts. Command Z is undo, Command minus is zoom out, Command plus is zoom in. If you want to see the whole artboard, Command 0 is what you need. So I'm going to go Command plus to zoom in. I'm going to create another layer and title this one red. Oh, oops, my bad. I'm going to undo that by pressing Command Z. I'm going to title this layer red. Okay, now I'm going to make this shape an ellipse tool. So an ellipse tool is your circle, and oval tool. You can create an oval just like that, or you can create a circle, a perfect circle, by pressing Shift, and that'll allow you to make a huge circle, or a perfect circle actually. You can make it as large or small as you want to. So there's my perfect circle right there. Now there's a guide right here showing you where the bottom of this shape is, so you can stay in line with it. Obviously I don't want that blue, so I'm going to change that color to red, and I'm going to put no stroke this time. Now I'll show you type on a path tool. You have to create a path first, which you can do with the line segment tool. And say I create a path from right here to right here. I can make it to where it has a very thick stroke, like that, or to where it has no stroke, to where if I clicked off of it, you wouldn't be able to see it. But I want to be able to see it, and you also have to make sure that you're not in your wrong layer. You want to make sure you're in your red layer, and then you'll see your path right there. Okay. If for whatever reason you can't see your path, you lost something you know is there, you can go back into your layers panel and you can click on this button, and that'll allow you to see your path. Now I'm going to click on the type tool. Actually, I'll click on type on the path tool. Okay, so I'm going to type in the color red. I think I'll just do it with a big RED. Okay. I don't want that one. I want my type tool. Okay. Now I'm going to make this larger using the control panel. And I think I'm going to scoot it down just a little bit. So I'm bringing that in with my control handles. Okay. And I really like the way it looked white, so I'm going to fill this in with white. Okay, and so I'm going to deselect it now. And there you have it. If I want to click on it again, I can just select it, move it wherever I want it to be. If I want it to be closer to the edge to make it look like it's fading in, I could do that. If for whatever reason I was to accidentally click my circle and move that instead, I'll undo it. I can press lock on this to where I can't move that circle at all. Okay, it'll only let me select the letters. If I want to lock in the letters, I can also select lock on the letters to where I can't select anything and change it. That's if you absolutely love something. you won't be messing it up. Okay, so those are the basic shapes, how to use the shapes, how to use the type tool, how to use the line tool, and the draw on a path tool. Notice there's also arc and spiral. Those are cool for whatever you think you may want to use them for. You can also increase the stroke weight of those. This one would be really cool for purple. I'm just spacing around. There it is. Okay, and I'll go ahead and make this one purple color. And I'll click on my little, oh shoot. So I just messed up and I did all of this on the wrong layer. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to go Command X, and that'll get rid of it. So now I don't have to erase anything. I can just decollapse them, create a new layer, title it purple, and then I'll just go Command V and paste what I just did. So Command X was to cut, Command V was to paste, and it's like it never happened. So we have that all figured out. That's just the way we want it. I'm going to go down here to show you your pen tool, and this will be one of the last few tools I show you before I end this tutorial. These are just the basic things that you're going to need for this assignment.